Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Facing the east. Giving all praises, glory, and honor be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah equals He is, He exists. That's the Father's name. Yahawashi equals He saves, He delivers. That's the Son's name. And Rakakwadash is how you say a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. Second of all, giving double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yerami Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. It's going to be a quick one. This is really a inbox reply. To this individual. I'm going to read the statement. I'm going to show the statement. I'm going to read it. And then we're going to jump into it, man. And as always, this lesson is brought to you in the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Okay. So, and here it goes from this individual, TJW. And it states, brother, just explain this. If we all came out of Africa, how would 8 of 9 or 9 of the tribes not be of any African descent? I know Hamites aren't from Shem, but also most of those people are on the western side of the world. Does that really sound like how the Most High scattered us to the four corners of the earth? Let us be for real. And again, the maker of that chart even said he made it to get others included. Okay, so this individual believes that, 8 out of 9 of the tribes would be of African descent, and that's 100% incorrect, brother. Okay? This is why you got to read the Bible, man. It's important that you actually read the Bible and stop going off of your own mind. And first of all, let's get a precept to support that. Okay, this is Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in Yahawah with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear Yahawah and depart from evil. Okay, so stop thinking on just what you think and what you've been told. You actually got to go to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read this one more time because this is going to make perfect sense. And I mean, for brothers that already know, you already know this makes perfect sense, man. This individual, what are you talking about? Okay? Once again, he said, brother, just explain this. If we all came out of Africa, how would 8 or 9 of the tribes not be of any African descent? I know Hamites aren't from Shem, but also most of those people are on the western side of the world. Does that really sound like how the Most High scattered us to the four corners of the earth? Let us be for real. And again, the maker of that chart even said blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, did we all go into Africa? That's the main question. Because you said we all came out of Africa. The answer would be no. All the tribes did not go into Africa. Okay? All the tribes did not dwell in Negro land. Okay? So, like I said, this is why you have to read the scriptures. This is 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, verse 40. All right? Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshé, the king whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. So the 10 tribes, which would be the northern kingdom, all right, from Simeon all the way down to Issachar, which would also include Dan. Okay, this is what the scriptures is referring to. The 10 tribes, the northern kingdom. they would have went into the Assyrian captivity. You understand? The Assyrian captivity. So those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshea, the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. That land will be known as Arsareth, North America, South America, a faraway land. Okay, so we're establishing right now that the northern kingdom never went into Africa. You understand? This is why you can't just go off of whatever you think. The northern kingdom never went into Africa. Okay? As a majority. All right? That's what he doesn't understand. Because once again, what did he say? He said, brother, just explain this. If we all came out of Africa, but we did not. This is how I know off the rip, your knowledge of the scriptures is not thorough. You're not comprehending what really happened. Your even knowledge of history isn't there. Okay? Because you're thinking we all came out of Africa. Now, hey, for the comment board, let me see who up in here. 2 brothers. All right. Who went into Africa? Can y'all tell me? And what year? If anybody's watching, who went into Africa and what year? Nope, ain't nobody? Nobody? Okay. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, anyway, I guess nobody knows. Endure, you don't know? Thank you, bro. All right. Southern Kingdom. You said the year you don't know. This is what you know as 70 AD. This right here is this you shall know. Y'all should know this, man. All right. 70 AD. Okay. Let's go to Matthew 24 and 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. You say you knew that. Well, you could have easily, 70 AD is shorter than I knew that. You could have typed that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Now, what was the mountains? That's talking about Africa. That's talking about us going down to the south. Okay? Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. This is history that should be instilled in you. That you should know this. You should know our history. You should know how we got into Africa. All right? Then let them be which in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, no, nor ever shall be. All right? So, when we fled, when they surrounded Masala, that's where a lot of Jakes, really 2/3 Jakes fled into. They went to Masala because Yahawashi told us to what? He told us to flee into the mountains. So you shouldn't have been going to Masala. You shouldn't have been going to these temples and to Jerusalem and all of these lands. You're seeing the Romans come in because really it started around 66 AD. All right, the takeover where they began to persecute us like that. Okay, so you're seeing this happening. you have over 1 million Israelites flee into Africa. And then, of course, through the scattering and all that, you have Israelites that flee. They went north. They went east. All right. This is why, Benjamin is known as West Indians. Okay. So you got, we went many different places. But the bulk, a lot of us went to Africa, which is known as Negro land. Okay. Let's pull that up. Negro land. Right here. So when it says flee into the mountains, Israel was up there. We flee down here to West Africa. Negro land, we established and we lived there for a time period. And then you have the Arab slave trade and stuff that comes. You have a lot of that type of stuff that comes. Now, you can zoom in over here. Let's see if we can find it real quick. As you see, the slave coast. All right. And if I could get a better copy of this, it'll have on here Judah. Let me see if I can find it. But this is basically the Benin kingdom and all of that. This is where they was coming to get us at. All of this. All right. They knew exactly where we was at. Okay. They knew exactly where we was at. All right. So this is talking about the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi being in Africa. So going back to this individual that, call itself jumping in my inbox. Brother just explained this. If we all came out of Africa, we just proved, and we're going to furthermore go into it, all right, that we didn't all go to Africa. So we didn't all come from Africa. We're not all, as he said, we should be of African descent. No. What does that make? No. What does the scripture say? This is the thing. Y'all like to take on these Edomite terms. African descent, American descent, Irish descent, Scottish. All right. What does the scripture say, man? What nation are you? Okay. We are what? We are Israelites. You want to say you're African descent. You're naming yourself after Scipio Africanus, a white man that defeated Hannibal, and began, they named it after him. They named the land after him. Right? I'm not calling myself African nothing. I'm not African American. I'm not none of that. I don't have no African descent. Now, not being so technical, my people go back to what? To Scotland and to Ireland. Okay? So the region that we came from would be Scotland and Ireland. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you do have Israelites that came from Africa. Most definitely. But it's no such thing as African descent. They're still Israelites. Their father is an Israelite. Therefore, his father is an Israelite. His father is an Israelite. It ain't no damn thing as African descent. All right, now let's go back to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, verse 43. So they took that counsel, and they said they might leave the heathens, and they going into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High Yahawah then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely, of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. So this is the northern kingdom, once again, from Simeon to Issachar, traveling to America. That's what's taking place. So the northern kingdom did not go into Africa. Now, is it northern kingdom in Africa? Yeah, they could have got there due to the slave trade. They could have got there due to, these type of situations that happen. Because you had northern kingdom Israelites that got trafficked from America to Africa. They got trafficked from America to the UK. These type of situations happen. And not all of the Northern Kingdom went to America, but majority, the bulk of the Northern Kingdom went to America when they left the Assyrian captivity. All right. So verse 46, then dwelt there until the latter times, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore saweth through the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. All right. So who was left behind? The southern kingdom. This is how we know this individual, TJW, you don't care. You don't care to study, and you don't care to actually know the history of our people, and you don't read the Bible, and you haven't matched it up to the time frames. Where the Northern Kingdom, you can base that around 720 BC, 722 BC to be exact, when they were took over, when Samaria was sacked. All right. And then the Southern Kingdom, they continued about 100 and so years later, bringing it around 580 something, 500 so BC, when, Jerusalem was took. All right. When the Babylonian Empire took over. So it all matches up with history. So the Southern Kingdom was still in the borders. They were still in the Holy Land, while the Northern Kingdom traveled to America. All right. So we were divided. We were separated. So let's read this one more time with that understanding, and let's correct this. Brother just explained this. If we all came out of Africa, we just explained that we did not all come out of Africa. Only the Southern Kingdom went into Africa. All right. For the bulk, only majority of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi went into Africa. But as we know, you could find Judah in the UK. You could find Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You could find them in Ireland, Scotland, Germany. We went many different places, but the bulk went to Africa and established Negro land. Yes, we understand that. All right. So once again, we did not all come out of Africa. Just the Southern Kingdom. Okay. And I don't know in his mindset, is he thinking that we all originated from Africa? No, we didn't. Okay. When we came off the boat, you take it back to Noah. Okay. Where was the boat? Where did the boat land? Does anybody know in here? All right. Not Aria, Elder, you can't answer. But anybody else, Kakama, you can't answer either. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody know where the boat landed? It's a slow class today, man. Hey, Shalawam, Bahasham, Yasharahla.
This is Shalawam, bro. Yahawashi, Barak. Hey, real quick, if you can, I sent you a screenshot from a book that I'm reading, which I sent you the book, but I know you ain't reading it because you would have been there and said something by now. But
yeah, I gotta
go on
read it.
to,
I ain't even gonna say.
yeah,
I
I
gotta
know.
read it.
Go to your WhatsApp if you can, if you able to show the screenshot that I sent you and read it. It's going into the natives that was the indigenous, you know what I'm saying, the Northern Kingdom that was already over here. And read and look what they was doing. Look at the customs that they was keeping.
Dang, that's on the phone that I'm on right now.
Ah, damn.
It ain't on this phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I was like, man, hopefully he could bring it up. But yeah, that's all I wanted to see if you could bring
Send it,
that up.
you could send it to my account. Send it to the Yaramia 144 account, and I could
Oh
pull
yeah,
it
yeah,
up
yeah.
on
Let me do
this
that.
one.
All right.
If you could send a picture on there. And yeah, you got that Mount Ararat. Yeah, Mount Ararat. Yep. That's it. And that's in Turkey. Okay? To the brother Yahawah. You know? So, you know, with that being said, when we came off that mountain, we established and we set up what Yahawah ordained. He ordained for the Hamites, they was going to get the land of Ham, which is what you know as Africa. All right? Japheth, they got the north, which is Russia, Europe. They got all of that. Shem, he got what you know as the so-called Middle East and everything towards the east of that. Okay? So really, we coming from what you know as, you know, the Mediterranean Sea, that area. We're coming from that region. All right? This is where Abraham and his forefathers would have dwelt. This is where Shem would have dwelt. All right? You got it, Zaquan. I'm gonna go
All right,
find it.
yeah, I sent it to your other account, so you can pull it
Yeah.
up. There you go, and just read that. That's it's giving you the account of what the natives were doing when they was over here. And this book is from it's called Ancient Americas.
Kind tribe. Tribe, when they march to battle, a similitude is here to Joshua at the siege of Jericho. When it is in their peaceful encampment, it is surrounded by 12 stones. That's beautiful. Indicative of the original number of the tribes of their ancestors. This is strictly in analogy. I'm saying that wrong. With the 12 statues,
And
probably
analogy. I don't even know how to say it.
analogy.
I'm fucking up that word.
It's damn English language, man. Probably rolled blocks of stones erected by Moses around the altar of the covenant to personify the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's
So
what
check that
that's what
out.
Moses did.
So check that out. When they would go into fight mode, when they would go into battle, they would march in the same similitude in the same formation as Joshua did when going into Jericho. Meaning when they were going to battle, they would what? They will circle around you and chant songs before they attack you.
That's cold.
You see that?
Yep.
And then it
Yep.
said when they was at peace, they had what? 12 stones on them that they said was what? According to their ancestors.
Yeah.
Meaning the 12 tribes. Man, that's cold as hell, man.
Yep. So going back to that individual, you know, he ain't getting it, man. Right? The Native Americans are indeed Israelites. But they never went into Africa, man. But they have the same customs and culture as us.
Okay. And I got another book that I'm reading too. I can't remember the book. But the book that you got right there, that book was written in 1738. Then I got another book that was written in 1863. And in that book, man, they literally just pretty much just telling you straight out, hey, the so-called Negroes and the Hispanics and the natives here, they the Israelites. Just pretty much just telling you in your face.
Man, I'm gonna get on it and I'm gonna start reading that book tonight. Like,
But
for real.
I got to send you that book. I ain't seen you that book yet because I
but
just started it. But the one
you
that you got
sent me,
right there,
yeah,
that's the one that you already got.
I'm gonna start reading that tonight. Yeah, I'll be studying. I just gotta put it in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But let's finish cutting this. So once again, I'll read it for individuals coming in, you know, so you can know what's going on. He says, brother, just to explain this, and a little backstory is we was teaching about no grudges, and this brother came in live and he got mad because I wouldn't answer his question, but it was off topic. He came in live. The first thing we said was that chart. He said the chart is off. And I'm like, you know, we're not talking about the chart right now. So he's already showing he has no decorum, right? So then he jumped in the inbox, as they always do, because these people are what? They're highly effeminate, they're emotional, they can't control themselves, and they already thinking they're right in everything. And we're proving that this individual is 100% wrong. So, brother, just explain this. If we all came out of Africa, and we just explained that the southern kingdom went into Africa, and the northern kingdom went to Arsareth, which is a faraway land, North America, South America, right? If we all came out of Africa, which that's wrong, how would 8 or 9 of the tribes not be of any African descent? Okay, that's and once again, no such thing as African descent. I'm not an African American. I'm an Israelite. All those Edomite terminologies, you gotta lose that, man. When you're coming into your new man, you gotta throw all that stuff away. All right, that's an Edomite categorize. They're categorizing yourself like that. He said, I know Hamites aren't from Sham, but also most of those people are on the western side of the world. Does that really sound like how the Most High scattered us to the four corners of the earth? Let us be for real. And again, let us be for real. And again, the maker of that chart even said he made it to get others included. Now, understand, and let's go to real quick. Let's go to Genesis, the 49th chapter, because it clearly states where we would be at this point in time, man. Okay? This is Genesis 49:1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So this is going into where we will be in the last days. Now, if you don't believe this and you don't consider this, then you obviously don't have faith, because he's telling his sons where they're going to be. That right there guarantees that their bloodline is going to continue. So the Israelites are not done away with. All right. Jacob is telling them right now, hey, this is where y'all going to be at in the last days. Okay. And that means the last days of this kingdom, this wickedness. That means the last days before we get those everlasting bodies. So the last days where sin is afflicting us. That's what it's speaking about.
And let me state this too real quick.
Yep.
As it state the last days, what the hell is the last kingdom? According to Daniel, what is the last kingdom? Is it not the extended leg of the Roman Empire? So in the last days, in the extended leg of the Roman Empire, this is what shall be happening to your people.
Yep.
It's simple, man. I don't see how, and that's how I be getting mad when people be talking about, oh, Esau is not the so-called YT man. Bruh, do y'all not know the kingdoms, the order that the kingdom's supposed to come in and go out?
Can you do that?
The Roman Empire, the extended leg of the Roman Empire, is the last kingdom. Who controls the Roman Empire? Who are the Romans?
Oh, let me get this real quick. Since you said that. Where is it at, man? Yeah. Damn, I damn near fell. All right. The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite. Okay. By William Beeson. So, hey, your own people, man, they telling on you, man. All right. We know who y'all people are. Okay. So, y'all be like, well, that's just the Bible. Well, you got people out here making documentaries, making books about it. All right. So get up out of here. This is 2 Ezra 6:9. Going to your point, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is letting you know the kingdom that shall be established before our kingdom is established. So who must be in rulership? Esau must be in rulership. He is the end of this kingdom. He is the end of this place. That rulership, his heaven. And then our heaven is coming in. All right.
And that empire that he's ruling is the extended leg of the Roman Empire. When you go read Daniel chapter 2, it tells you about a fourth kingdom, then it tells you about a fifth kingdom that's an everlasting kingdom. That everlasting kingdom is Jacob. That fourth kingdom is Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, that everlasting kingdom, is that kingdom that followeth. 1 + 1 = 2, man. I don't see how people don't get this, man.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can match that up with Revelations, the 13th chapter, when it tells you about that beast that suffered a deadly wound, but now it's back. That's what we're seeing, man. America, Rome 2.0.
Facts.
So back to Genesis 49, verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. Then defileth thou it, he went up to my couch. So we understand, all right, Reuben being what? Your Seminole Indians. Understanding how it goes, the custom is the firstborn son shall, get the inheritance and all of that. Well, that was took away because of Reuben, what Reuben did. All right. But it was already preordained, because who is supposed to really have that rulership place, and who is the head tribe of the tribes? Judah. Okay. Now, what tribe did our king come out of? Pertaining to Hebrews 7 and 14, and also Matthew 1. All right. What tribe was David of? Yahawashi is known as the son of David. All right. That tribe is Judah. So everything that happened, even Reuben going into his father's concubine, that had to happen. You understand? Ain't no such thing as free will, man. That had to happen. All right. These things had to happen for everything to be set in place. All right. Verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they digged down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Now, if you look into, let's get a map. Let's go on a map real quick. All right, because this is, Levi is what? The Haitians. Simeon is what? The Dominicans. Okay. Let's go look and see where those lands are. Right here. Right beside one another. And they hate one another. So those curses and that right there is ensuing, This is set up. All right. This is nothing's by chance, nothing's by coincidence. Okay? The Most High set them up right there beside one another. They used to fight one another, etc., etc. Okay? They're very violent, You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you go to the DR, man, you might not make it up out of there.
And they got that cruelty, which is what? That witchcraft. You got Haiti, they do the voodoo. And then you got the Dominicans, they got that Santa Maria.
Yep. Then verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Okay? So Judah is at the forefront. What is, you got two head tribes, but you got one main head tribe. So let's break that down, because you have a head tribe of the northern kingdom, which is Ephraim, your so-called Puerto Ricans. And then you got the head tribe of the southern kingdom, which is Judah, all right, your so-called Negroes. Now, Judah overall is the head tribe of the tribes, all right? So saying that just because to bring in the point of hip-hop, right? You know how Jake sets the trend with hip-hop? Who created hip-hop? So-called Negroes. But it's been a debate and a fight over that between so-called Negroes and so-called Puerto Ricans. That's a common thing in the hip-hop culture, right? Because Puerto Ricans got down too. You got individuals such as Fat Joe, Big Pun, You know, Puerto Ricans had a heavy influence in hip hop. All right. This individual talking about y'all ain't ready. He doesn't truly understand the definition of ready and what that means. And we'll just look at that as ignorance. And that'll be your homework, buddy. Okay? You need to go do some research.
He say we ain't ready, but yet none of the people fits the prophecies but us. I hate when people always be talking about we ain't ready or we ain't. Let me see your DNA test. Well, hey, listen, our DNA is the scriptures. Hey, Romans 8:16 say what? The spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children. So when you link up these prophecies, when you read the book and you look out in the earth, match the words with the people that you see on the earth. And who matches these prophecies, man? Who matches these curses? Word for word, man. It's us. And going along with what you're saying with the hip hop, when you dealing with the Northern Kingdom, they was known as the D boys. There used to be a lot of Northern Kingdom that was D boys back then, dancers and shit, break dancers and shit. And then the Southern Kingdom, those were your rappers and stuff, your MCs and your DJs. So that's why all that little friction of who really started the culture of hip hop. So that's what it goes back to. And let me state this, like I always state, you know who we are by what? By the salt, by the flavor. Mm-hmm. When you watching boxing, who you trying to go see when you watching boxing? You trying to go see you trying to go see the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
You ain't trying to see nobody else.
Yep. A so-called Negro or a so-called, Issacharite. I mean, Issacharite, yeah.
Exactly. When it comes to the music, who you trying to listen to? You only trying to listen to the 12 tribes. That's it. Ain't nobody trying to listen to nobody else.
Yep.
Come on, man. When you looking at the Olympics, who the people out there doing their thing, man?
Yeah, Jake, man. Shoot.
It's right in front of your face. Every time something goes on, when it has something to do with anything, who they lump together? Oh, we got a vaccine. People need to come out and get it. But you know what? We want to give it to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans first. Yeah, they always lump us together.
Yeah. I watched this track documentary, and it was straight Jake. And you even had Jake in France, light-skinned Jake, dude, was fast as hell. You know what I'm saying? He was like a premier track star and running in the Olympics. So it was just straight Jake. Usain Bolt, that's a Jake. All right, all these track, they coming from all these different countries, but they the fastest. So you got nothing but Jakes really competing, majority of Olympics. That's Jake, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's
us.
You got it?
No, you good. Go ahead, roll.
All right, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Judah's laid back. It takes a lot for Judah to, go and do something. But when he do something, he's like a lion with it. Look at the riots, right? Rodney King and et cetera, et cetera. Esau's trying to rouse Judah up by all of these pew-pews, George Floyd, ICE, and all of that. So Esau's he's building the tension to rouse Judah up, to get Judah to participate in this civil war, which is about to take place. Because, Judah be laid back. All right? Judah just want to party and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But you piss Judah off enough, they're going to get down. All right? Trust and believe that. Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Now, who was the head son? Who was the firstborn son? Reuben. But Reuben does not have that, rulership as the head tribe. But like I said, the Most High ordained, and he appointed it. He put a spirit on Reuben to go into his father's concubine for that to happen. He put a spirit on Benjamin was it Shalakia, Levi and Simeon to do what they did. All right. So nothing is by choice, man. Nothing is free will. Everything is ordained by the Most High. A man's goings is of the Lord, right? So he had all that happen to put in place Judah, because Yahawashi, when it talks about Shiloh coming, that's talking about Yahawashi, man. So the scepter, the rulership, shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Yahawashi is a Judite, all right? And in turn, that makes Yahawah Judah, all right? He's going to look like a so-called black man, okay? That's understandable. That's what we understand. That's what the scripture states. You know what I'm saying? That's why, once again, Judah is praised. We all praise, and we praise, as we talked about with the hip hop, the flavor, the salt, the trends, right? Judah is the trendsetter. They come forth and they set these trends, and they do what they do.
And then who follows right behind the trend?
Shit, the world. Everybody.
No. I'm saying who follows right behind the trend and could carry that trend and make it look just as good. Who always come right behind it? The Northern Kingdom.
Oh yeah, kind of Northern Kingdom. Yep.
You don't see you ain't gonna see no damn because y'all people saying we ham. That's what a lot. You don't see no damn Hamites hitting the scene and rapping and dancing and playing basketball like we play.
Nope.
And everything else, hell no.
Yeah, and hey, to add to that, you look at Bol. That's a Hamite, man. Them individuals, certain individuals like that, they get in the league, they be tall as hell, but they can't really do nothing. But you get an individual like Wemby, he got that dog in him. He trying to win. He got that salt in him. He got that flavor. So it don't matter. I saw the other day, you got these 8 feet dudes, they about to come into the league. They 16, so they got like 2 years, 3 years, they gonna come into the league. They Hamites though. They're not gonna do shit in the league, man. It doesn't matter how tall you are. Just like those sons of Anak, we knock their ass down. All right? They not Israelites. We got a saying, hey, the taller they are, the harder they fall.
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying?
And it's always proven. It's always proven where? During the Olympics. Ham be the ones that get their ass whooped the worst. Out of everybody, out of all nations, they lose the worst.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Like I always say, if you want to know who the Israelites are, just pay attention to the Olympics, and you'll see. It's gonna show. And not even dealing with the Olympics or any of that cardinal stuff. Even on the spiritual note, when you're dealing with the truth, who are the men that you see on the street corners with the truth?
Yep.
That let you know right there. I am yet to see Bo or Tutu on the street corners with the scriptures. I don't see a Bo or Tutu out there. You see that?
Nope.
I don't see Slant Eye Chinga Chung on the street corners, man.
Yep.
With the 12 Tribe sign out there on the block. Or any of the rest of these other nations, man. No, you only see us with it.
Yeah. And that's showing you who has the spirit, man, who's been brought back to life. The nations, you can look up in Revelations 11 and 18, they're known as the dead. All right? The judgment of the dead. That's the nations, man. So they're about to be judged. They're dead. They're the congregation. They have no life. This life, going back to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, we was given that breath of life. You understand? Everybody wasn't given that. So stemming back to Adam, we are known as the sons of God. Being from Abel, Abel was slayed, then Seth. So under that lineage, the sons of God, we would call upon Yahawah. As it is written, Enos began to call upon Yahawah. We called upon the names. Did it say that any other heathens called upon? No, they don't call upon a name. It wasn't given to them. They were never given the breath of life, the understanding. They were given a commandment, all right, to go forth, be fruitful and multiply. That was given to everybody. That's the first commandment given to all life. Fruits, vegetables, animals, whatever. Be fruitful and multiply. Right? That's a basic commandment that everything on this planet should understand. And Esau still fucked that up. You know? So let's go back to this. And we're gonna begin, it ain't gonna be too long. I'm cooking, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't mean to be on here that long. But hey, the water for coming through. All right. Let's finish cutting this dude. Okay. So once again, he said, I know Hamites aren't from Shem, but also most of those people are on the western side of the world. Does that really sound like how the Most High scattered us? As we broke down, Northern Kingdom came to America, North America, South America, and then the Southern Kingdom would eventually join them fully via what? The slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. All right. So now we are in America, North America, South America, etc. Because this is a fun fact that people don't know mostly, that more Southern Kingdom went to Brazil than anything. All right. And I was just watching, dang, what's that show I watched? Man, that shit was good. Man on Fire, yo. All right. I was kind of hesitant on watching it, but it's actually fire. Not the one with Denzel, that's an old one, but this one, it's on Netflix. All right. This joint right here, Man on Fire on Netflix. You watch this through the spirit, you gonna see he's in Brazil and it's hella Judah. It's Judah everywhere. Judah everywhere down there acting. They speaking Portuguese, because that's what they speak down there. They speaking all of that. But they straight Judah. I'm talking about dark skin as hell. Judah. More Judah went to Brazil than came to America. So, check this out. If you got time, Man on Fire, it's on Netflix. It's about 6 episodes, I think. Or 7, or it might be 6 or 7, whatever. It's a good little watch, though. So Most High.
And real quick,
Yeah, bring it.
not to cut you off. Real quick, even when you're dealing with the transatlantic slave trade and the slave trade of the indigenous that went from the Caribbean islands and from the South of Americas and the Central Americas and was going to Spain, that is what fulfilling those scriptures that they were what going to Egypt by ships.
Yep.
So once again, what other nations are fulfilling these prophecies? What other nation was transported on ships as slaves? It's only the people that you see on that sign. In the Northern Kingdom, they was the first to go. Their enslavement on the ships started in 1490. Where they was taken from the Caribbean and taken from the South and Central and the Americas and sent over to Spain. That was the first movement of slaves going across the water. Then they started grabbing up Judah, shall I say, started grabbing up Judah out of the Ivory Coast of Africa and bringing them back across.
Yep. And even, I think 700 AD. I actually got to do a lesson on this, but the Arab slave trade.
Yeah, the sub-Saharan slave trade.
Yeah, sub-Saharan. Yep. Yeah, individuals talking about Iran and all. Shit, they had a hand in that, man. All right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all rooting for Iran. This is why the Most High gonna judge all them nations, man. Okay? Everybody was touching on the apple of his eye.
And that's why we have a lot of people over in Morocco.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Jake over there in Morocco.
That was a Moorish capital too, where Jake was set up when they was in power too.
So a lot of people don't even be knowing this history, man. They don't even know about the sub-Saharan slave trade. They don't know about the Caribbean and the South and Central and the Americas slave trade that went to Spain. All these things happened before the transatlantic slave trade.
Yep.
So who are they coming against? Who are these people that these other nations was coming against? They were coming against the Israelites.
This is why it's important to know history, man. It's important to know that we went and conquered Italy. And this is why, Italians that are Edomites, they hate us. Because a lot of them are Jake. Some of the mostly southern Italians. All right, because that's where we conquered. And what do you do when you conquer? You impregnate. You take their women, man.
Matter of
Okay?
fact, bro, not to cut you off, we're gonna have to do another live on that one guy. It's a guy running around here claiming that the Israelites are a bunch of damn Edomite nations. And when he's breaking down the different nations that are Israelites, he make a statement. He's like, oh yeah, and the Israelites in Israel, in northern Israel, that is. So he made sure he said northern Israel. Why didn't he say southern Israel? Because southern Israel, they consider them NIGs. You see that? And I used to live in Italy. And everybody from South Italy could not stand northern Italians. And all the northern Italians couldn't stand the southern Italians. And the northern Italians would call the southern Italians niggas. And that shit used to blow my mind. I used to be like, what the? But this is when I wasn't in the truth, so I didn't know. But I used to be like, yo, this shit crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, man. We definitely these people, man. And it's just that what? It's just we're in this movie, and in this movie, the movie script states there's going to be 2/3. So at the end of the day, it's going to be mind it's going to be mind blowing to see, to like just be in this truth and be like, yo, how can y'all not get this? It's like mind blowing. But at the same time, this is how you know there's a such thing as Yahawah, Yahawashi. Because so many artifacts, so many relics, so much facts, so many books, you know what I'm saying? The prophets us out here breaking it down, showing you, once again, got where the slaves was, especially where I'm from, in Georgia, in Savannah, got the church where the slaves was writing in Hebrew at the first black church. How were they writing? How was they writing in Hebrew? You see that? So all this stuff, man, and yet people can't get it. But once again, this is how we know. This is how we know there's a such thing as Yahawah, Yahawashi. Because he said what? The elect shall attain it, but the rest shall be blind.
Yep. And Esau he'll throw, white lies, right? Like he got a lot of Jake, like, yeah, this is Israel, this is Africa, we never left, and all that. Like, because you had Jake, Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom, that established and had cities over here. You had certain things like that. As you said, you got these books and things that talk about the mounds, the cities. You think about what is it? Machu Picchu, those Aztecs, Inca, Mayan cities and stuff like that. The Northern Kingdoms were making cities down there. Gad was doing that up here as well. All right. And then you had Southern Kingdom, such as it's documented that Mansa Musa was sending individuals to America. All right. They was establishing and they was communicating and stuff like that. So they was setting up colonies and building cities and stuff like that. And that goes into the old buildings and stuff. So yeah, you could have had Jake over here under a Moorish flag. They're Israelites, but they're under false religion, setting up and establishing cities and stuff of that nature. Because we know that you had 7 prior presidents before George Washington that were Moors, that were Israelites, that were teaching the Edomites how to establish a government and constitution and all of that. All right. All of that was written by Israelites, helping you build your cities and all of that. Okay. And we just got took over. So they could use some of those false narratives where we was already here, which that's true. Some of us were already here. But the fact remains is that our homeland is Israel, although we expanded all over the planet, right? Yeah, you had Jakes in Germany, you had Jakes in Russia, you had Jakes in Italy, you had Jakes in Spain, you had Jakes in France, all right? And it's remnants of us all there. That's what you know is the scattering. We're everywhere. But our homeland is Israel, man. You know, I'm gonna get this real quick, and then we can begin to close. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, that's northern kingdom and southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Now, Jeremiah was writing around the time of the Babylonian Empire coming to take Israel. Were the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom oppressed together during that time? No. All right. As we just broke down, if you was paying attention, northern kingdom ventured off and went to America. Judah was still in the land for about 100 and so years later. All right. So what is the only two captivities where we were oppressed together? I'm asking that question to the comment board. What is the only two captivities where the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom were oppressed together? Go ahead. You know, what's the only two captivities? Anybody know? The only two captivities where the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom were oppressed together. Anybody in the comments know? They sleeping, Zaquan. They sleeping, man.
Yeah,
No.
man. They sleeping, man. Hey, y'all got to get it together.
I just said that in
There we
Jeremiah's
go.
time, the northern kingdom was not oppressed with Judah in Babylonian time period. Wait.
There we go. Cupcake. Yeah, Cupcake got it on the money.
What she gave us one. What's the other captivity where we are oppressed together? All right, Khan and Dor all got it. America and Egypt. America and Egypt. For individuals that put Babylonian and Roman, the northern kingdom was not in the Babylonian captivity. That was just the southern kingdom. Northern kingdom was in the Assyrian captivity, and they left and went to America. So they were not in the Babylonian captivity, just the southern kingdom.
And America is also known as Egypt. This is spiritual Egypt. This is the Egypt where we came upon ships. We came into this Egypt upon ships.
Yep. So his next point, like I said, I was nice to do it. After he sent all of that, I said I can explain this on a live. What time is good for you? Hey, I'm trying to be there for you, man. You know, what time is I can break it down for you right now. Okay. So the same live you muted me on for trying to be civil, and this is what we tell you people: we are focusing on a specific topic. All right. If you come in here all left field, because the first thing he said in the live was that chart is off. We wasn't talking about the chart. We were, you already come in here being disrespectful. You already come in here off topic. Okay. How are we supposed to address you? You're going to get muted. You have no class, bro. Okay. So that's why you got muted. Then this is his next little thing. Just think logically, how would the people of Israel be majority Spanish descent? While yes, we congregated in Spain for a while, we did not intermingle with them at that time. Basic understanding is, bro, Numbers 1 and 2. You're not Spanish just because the Spanish took you over. You are what your father is. All right. So just because the Spanish came and conquered South America does not mean that our people are Spanish now. They are what their father is. He's acting like we stopped producing. We continue to produce. Now, if you have a Spanish father and he is indeed an Edomite, then you are an Edomite. All right? If you have a Spanish mother, but you have a so-called Mexican father, going back to the tribe of Issachar, then you are an Israelite. That's easy. That's simple. Right? So just because we calling them Latinos or Native Americans, you're seeing Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Argentinians, Chileans, Colombians, and you're thinking just because the Spanish conquered these lands or the Portuguese conquered Brazil, like I stated earlier, it's a lot of Judah and Asher in Brazil because of their fathers. Esau didn't run rampant through the whole country impregnating everybody. No, man. Who produces the least seeds today? Esau. He's dying more than he's producing. That's stats. Okay? So his women are not fertile. His seed is not that of a, the Most High is allowing that to be where he doesn't produce like that. He's a minority. If we want to be honest, he is a minority upon this planet. We are the majority because Jake is everywhere. All right. So I'm going to get Numbers 1 and 2. And then whatever you guys acquire, man, we can wrap it up. This is Numbers 1 and 2. Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers with the number of their names, every male by their poles. So you are what your father is. All right. Simple and plain. You are what your father is. Okay. And to the brother JK, you said the Babylonian and Roman captivity. When you say the Babylonian captivity, we're automatically going to think Nebuchadnezzar. All right. We're going to think that captivity, 580 BC. That's what we're going to think. The Babylonian captivity. Okay. Because really America is known as the daughter of Babylon, the whore. All right. Like Israel is referred to as the daughter in certain times, in certain periods. So when you say the Babylonian captivity, I'm thinking Nebuchadnezzar, etc., etc. This captivity, you simply say America, or you can simply say Rome 2.0. I'm glad y'all brothers got that though. But yeah, this is Babylon. Yes, indeed. All right. Zaquan, you got anything?
Nah, bro, you got it.
All right, cool. So, hey, this has been a conclusion of, let's read this one more time, summarize it. We broke this down. So I'm going to read it one more time. He said, brother, just explain this if we all came out of Africa. Once again, we did not all come out of Africa. Majority of the southern kingdom went into Africa. All right. And then through slave ships, they came to the Americas. Prior to that, the northern kingdom went into the Assyrian captivity and they took it upon themselves to get on ships and they came to the Americas. And that's where you have the tribe of Gad, which is your North American Indians, tribe of Reuben, which is your Seminole Indians, all right, so on and so on. Latinos, all right, and Native Americans. That's what you have. The Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, etc., etc. They got here because they left the Assyrian captivity. They came over here on ships around 700 and so BC. So they had been in America for about 1,000 and, damn near 2,000 years, 1,000 and whatever years before the Edomites got here, right? So then when the Southern Kingdom came over here via the Atlantic slave trade, it was like a reunion, all right? So we did not all come out of Africa. So Don't have that in your mind. Because he's trying to say that all the tribes should be dark skinned or whatever. We intermingled, man. If you get with a white woman, an Edomite, your child is gonna be light skinned. Okay? But your child is still gonna be an Israelite. So we intermingled. And it's nothing wrong with that. Because Joseph, go ahead, bro.
And what speaks on that in the scriptures? The wheats and the tares. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, how's that? So once again, everything has to fit the scriptures. The scriptures tell you that that the northern kingdom was going to be like a cake unturned. It tell you that we was going to become a speckled bird. And then the scriptures also tell you about the wheat and the tares. So everything is explained.
Yep, speckled birds, yep. So, we intermingle, man. Bro, it's a lot of mixing going on, but it's no such thing as a mixed child. It's a lot of mixing going on, but there's no such thing as mixed because you are what your father is. You understand? So you can get with a so-called YT woman and your child be lighter complexion, but your child is still an Israelite because the father holds the seed. The father plants the seed. The woman is the soil. Once you understand that, it becomes a whole lot easier understanding, generating and producing and all of that. Okay, that the father, the man, you are what the man is. That's simple. So furthermore, continuing on that, all the tribes would not be dark skinned, how he's trying to say. All right. We broke down the scattering, how you got individuals over here, over there, over here, over there, because we was traveling, we were Vikings, we were, Moors, we were moving upon the ocean, we were setting up, we were everywhere. All right. We wasn't simple. We wasn't no cavemen. We wasn't no people running around with staffs and hunting lions and shit like that. We were a highly advanced, civilization of people wherever we went. All right. And we got scattered via that way. And we also got scattered via all the captivities that we went into, all the slaves that we went in, the slaveries that we went into. Okay, so now we're all over the earth. And wherever we go, we help to build up that society. All right, wherever we go, we give that flavor and that salt to these societies, man. And that's pretty much it, man. We can wrap it up right there. That's summarizing the whole lesson. Is the true understanding is in the scriptures. You got to read the Bible and stop just going off your own mind. All right. All the tribes are not just strictly dark skinned. They're going to look 100% different. Brother may look like a so-called YT man. He got the spirit. All right. His father's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. Okay. Brother may be Wesley Snipes black. He got the spirit. He's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. Okay. It is what it is. All right. And that's how the Most High fixed it. All right. So, hey, with that being said, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. As always, Shalawam, Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharahla. And the Bible ball, ate the water for everybody coming through. All right. And precepts and all the support. And hey, the water Zaquan for coming up. You know what I'm saying? Rocking out.
Yes, sir.
And hey, until next time, man, Shalawam, Shalawam.